welcome to the Author Spotlight. My name is Aurelia Wynn. I'm the owner and operator of Wynn Publications, and just so Author Spotlight is something that I came up with. It's really just to shed the spotlight, shed the light on independent authors like yourself. So if you don't mind telling us about yourself, your name, and then what it is that you do full time.
So my name is Lawerence Robison. Originally from the state of Mississippi, still live here in the state of Mississippi. A little bit of my background: I graduated high school. From there, I left and went to the military. Did 2 tours of Iraq. Did about 5 years in the military. Got out. Went to college down here in the Mississippi Delta. I'm originally from the hometown where Mammy Till Mosley is from. Emmett Till's mother. So I'm from that area. That's kind of like my heritage and everything. And so I got out of graduated high school, went to college, and then finished college. Then I moved out here to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And what I currently do right now is I'm a veterans representative, so I do that full time, just helping veterans find jobs or what have you. And then in the spare time, I'm a self-published author. I also do poetry. I'm working on some spoken word pieces right now. And then I created a clothing line based off of the state of Mississippi called Sip Gear, where t-shirts, hats, beanies, and all that stuff, where the t-shirts just say all I do is sip, because we didn't really have a clothing line when we go places. I just wanted us to have something that was pretty cool that we could have around. So.
Oh wow, that's pretty neat. That last little bit that you were talking about your clothing line. I know I follow you on Instagram, and I was seeing your t-shirts. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So what's your? I know we're here to talk about your book, but that's pretty cool. So do you plan on doing that also, like full time, or what are your goals for your clothing line?
So I wanted to be something that I wanted to take over the state. I started out, when I first started out, I was just doing hats. I didn't really think I was going to get a lot of the other stuff that I got. So then I started expanding, started getting t-shirts, hats, beanies, tank tops, sweaters, hoodies. Now I'm about to get like a lot of winter gear. And so I'm off right now because I just had a son as well too. So I'm trying to push everything for the fall time, so when the springtime comes back around. So I just been doing it. I just wanted to create something that that we can have, because there's so much history here. A lot of people don't know about Mississippi. Mississippi is the blackest state in the nation. It is the blackest state in the union. A lot of people don't know that, at 40%. And so I feel like if I can get the 40% to understand that, we can create our own market, our own economy. And I tell people a lot of times that the state of Mississippi could be an Atlanta in itself. A lot of people just don't understand that, though.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah, you threw some really good statistics. I had no idea about that, even though, as we were saying before the interview, I have family that are out there in Mississippi, and I don't know, what do you think is, and I know we're so off topic, but that's okay. What do you think is one of the biggest, I guess, obstacles in just getting the word out to people out there in that part of the United States, and that state specifically?
Education. You gotta understand, like Mississippi, a lot of Mississippi is rural. So our biggest city is Jackson, and that's only like 200,000, possibly about 300,000. Okay. And then you got Gulfport, which is at about 75 to 80,000 individuals. So a lot of it is rural when you get outside of the biggest cities, and we don't control our own media here. So even with us having, like yourself, who has this media company, even with us being that percentage of the population, we don't have our own media. So when you don't have your own media, you don't know what's going on. You just get it from somebody else. And so the biggest part is just getting the information out to make some clear, which is something I'm going to try to work on in the future as well too. So.
Okay, yeah. So definitely listen. If you're listening to this interview, if you're watching this today and you are in Mississippi or you know people out there, hey, spread the word out. There's entrepreneurs out there who definitely want to put Mississippi on the map. So, hey, I definitely kudos to you for getting that started where you're at. So tell me, okay, now let's go ahead and get into what we came here to talk about. Your latest book. Tell us a little bit about that. What's it called? What is it about?
So my book is called "Surviving the War and College Roommates." It's kind of a comical book. It's kind of a short memoir. So the idea behind it is that when I got out of the military, I immediately went to the college. So immediately went to college. So I got out of the military. I didn't take it. I took a little bit of time off. So I got out. It was the winter time, and then school started in January. So I was out about November with school that January. So I immediately came from somebody who was a combat veteran going through war, seeing all this stuff, and then transitioning into going and sitting down in a classroom. And so when I did that, a lot of people would look at me differently, just because a lot of black people, if you don't have somebody that's in your family that's in the military, some of us are so far removed from it that we don't know. We build this mythology around it like it's just some type of crazy stuff. Like, oh, they're injecting y'all with all this craziness and all this stuff. So when I went to college, everybody's like, oh, he's crazy. Something's wrong with him. And so I would notice that all these individuals would say things about me, but then I would notice that they would do a lot of the crazy stuff. And so I said to myself, well, let me write this down in a book. And so I just decided to write down a lot of the crazy things that I would see. And then it's giving my take on it and my kind of my comical way of me thinking about how they're doing stuff. And I just wrote that down in a book. And I think it's something that'll help individuals, not just for college. It's kind of a life lessons book too, because it'll teach you how to stay out of certain things and avoid certain types of traps that you can easily get yourself into.
Okay. For example, like tell us something that you talk about in your book. Like give us the piece.
So there was let's say, I'm trying to find an incident. So there was right before I got out of the military, there was an incident that's in the book as well too. So I wrote a prologue where it was like my last 3 months in the military. And I talk about how eventually I went from being this individual who was highly regarded because I was really, really young. You got to understand, I went in the military when I was 18. I was commanding troops at the age of 22. And so there were a lot of people who don't like that. They don't like somebody that's young, black. And then I was from Mississippi, so a lot of people were like, okay, he's from Mississippi, he's got to be stupid or whatever. But then they realized that I really wasn't that stupid. And so I talk about how when I decided that I wanted to get out of the military, all of those dynamics shift, and it went from, hey, you're our guy, you're our prize guy, to basically you're like the scum of the earth, and we want to kind of discard you. So either we're going to try to get you in some trouble before you get out so you won't get an honorable discharge, or we're going to try to talk down on everything that you're going to do. Because originally I wanted to go back to college and play ball, which is what I did. I ended up walking on, but I had a severe knee injury. But it was like, oh, you're going to get out of the military to go and play football. That's stupid. Oh, you're dumb. You don't know this, so on and so forth. And so it's just that type of thing where if you're somebody and you're young, or if you're just somebody who has an idea, you have to not listen to other individuals, because they're not going to be able to live your life for you, and they don't know what it is, what you're going to do when you go through that. And two, I talk about just how a lot of individuals have looked up to me after that or what have you. So there's just a lot of other incidents as well too, along with that stuff as well too.
Okay, nice. So would you say like it's kind of a bit of your life story, and you're just kind of sharing your experiences and stuff that people could relate to?
Yeah, and like I said, it's a short memoir, but it's really, like I said, it's really, really comical. Once you get past the prologue, it kind of sets it up and it goes back. I put a definitions page in there in the front of the book, and it has a lot of military jargon in there. So for a lot of individuals that don't understand military jargon, you wouldn't really know it, but I make it so much in a comical way that you read it, you're like, oh, okay, I get that. I can understand that, what that means or what have you. So when I'm using that terminology, you know what that terminology is when I'm talking about something that I'm doing that you wouldn't necessarily know. And when I'm talking about, just going back to college and dealing with those individuals, let's say like we didn't have any food. I'm sure every college student can understand not having food or what have you. And we kind of go on a scavenger hunt with one of my roommates, and they find some hot dogs in the refrigerator somewhere where we're eating them. And I'm kind of talking down on it like, but at the same time, I'm a struggling college student. So I'm partaking in it. I'm partaking in it as well too. So, people can understand that it can relate to that,
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I was in college, so it took me 7 years. It took me 7 years to get through my undergrad. Anyway, but so I definitely get it. There was some days where it was like, okay, we're going to have to go, sometime. What was crazy is, so I actually went to a historical black college out in Florida. And not that matters, but in the dorms there were some girls in the girls' dorm. There were some girls who like had set up shop and would like sell you cup of noodles, 25 cents, anything like that. Because if like the cafeteria was closed, man, I'm talking about I met probably the most entrepreneurial type people, probably the most people that could survive anything in college. And really, I feel like if you ever get the chance, if someone's watching this and you haven't gone to college, definitely go. Definitely get that experience. I definitely feel like it makes you a stronger person.
You know, you gotta get your hustle on. And for me, mine was a little bit different because, you know, I got out of the military and I had the post 9/11 GI Bill. So all I had to do was get up, register for classes, have a full load, which is 12 hours, and then keep above a C average. And I would make base pay E5. So in the area that I was in, I was getting $1,000 check every month as long as I was in school. So I didn't really have to work too hard. I just had to go there, and I could get my Pell Grants and everything as well too on top of that right there because I really wasn't working. And so I really didn't have to do that much for money. But then that only goes so far too because I had a condo. You know, I was renting out rooms and I was going through the different roommates. They didn't want to pay their bills, and, you know, all that types of stuff. You know, that went on. So it was a lot of different dynamics to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh wow. And so you talk about all of that in your book then?
Yes, of course. I have I think I have about 4 different situations with roommates that I have. I have Rifle. I have the Cali kid. This was a guy that I met. He was from California. He moved back home. His mother was originally from Mississippi, so they moved back to Mississippi. I have the couples. This was a black couple that I moved in with, and then they moved in a white couple, which I don't have a problem with whatever the couple was, but we had decided that we weren't going to move any more couples in, and they went and moved up with them when I was, you know, off one day doing something. I came back, they had a kid and everything, and I was like, what in the world, you know, what's going on? So they moved them in. Man, it's just so many of the roommates and just the weird stuff. I had a roommate, one of the couples, I wake up in the middle of the night, the girl's hula hooping, had a hula hoop with flashlights on it. I'd never seen it. I talk about, you know, my one roommate, his cat. If you ever seen the movie Meet the Fockers, he was actually trying to train the cat to use the bathroom like in Meet the Fockers. I mean, all types of weird stuff. And again, when you listen to it, it's like they're telling me that I'm crazy, but then I'm looking at the stuff that they're doing. I would never in my million years try any of that foolishness. You know, I walk in the back and the cat's on the toilet, and I'm like, what is this cat?
No way.
Just nonsense. Just nonsense. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
And
definitely.
This was a black guy. So it was a black guy. So I was kind of weirded out by that because I'm like, I never know that black people would, you know, do weird stuff like that right there. I was like, okay, all right, I don't know.
Wow. That's really weird. Interesting. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So then, wow. So then, what was one of your toughest challenges in becoming an author?
My toughest challenge really was just myself. I procrastinate a lot. I'll procrastinate, and then I'll get myself into a situation where I'll be like, okay, I could finish the project a long time ago, because this book took me 5 years to finish. Wow. But the reason it took me 5 years to finish because I procrastinated for so long. And when I finally decided to sit down and write the book, it only took me 3 months to write it. You know what I mean? To actually physically sit down and write it and put everything together. But I procrastinated for so long, I'd come write a page, wouldn't write. And then, you know, you're working at a job, and you're kind of like, I really don't want to be here. And then, you know, with all the things that I've been through, I would use that energy and that anger to go back and start writing. And then, you know, making myself finish a chapter and a chapter and a chapter, and I was able to finish it in 3 months. And so all of getting everything, you know, self-publishing, all that stuff came easy because, you know, I can sit down and read some stuff. I have no problem in it. I'll go try one thing at any time, but just the procrastination part is really what's my hardest.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, then do you have any advice or lessons that you can offer to other writers? Maybe, I mean, I guess the clear one would be don't procrastinate, but anything else?
Right. I would tell you, I would say if you have an idea, I would say just start putting the pen to paper. Because the hardest part is going to be you actually writing. Just write. You know what I mean? Even if you're misspelling words, if the sentence structure don't sound good, just write. Once you start writing and you get in that mode of writing, then everything else will fall into place. Because all that editing and getting all that stuff done, that becomes fairly easy to get done. But you need to sit down and you need to, if you have that idea in your head, because my mom tells me all the time. I was talking to my mom, she was like, hey, I was just telling her I was going through some stuff. She was like, are you writing? And I was like, no, I'm not. And she was like, you need to be writing, right? And I'm like, yeah, I need to be writing. So my thing is like, if you're gonna write and you say you're gonna be a writer, you need to sit down and you need to start writing and just start writing and writing and writing. Even if it doesn't make any sense to you, just start writing. And I'm telling you, it'll eventually flow and come to you. And don't be afraid to put your stuff out. Like to be, an indie artist or somebody. I had several companies come to me and they wanted, to get my book and publish it or what have you. But I always tell people, why would I let a company pay me crumbs on the dollars for something that I put together just because they have distribution? And that's really the only difference. And you going about it yourself. But I mean, if you're determined, I travel so much to different events and take my books and sell them and stuff. I find pride in that, being able to tell people about that. I tell people all the time, I don't care if it takes 10 years before this book hits, everything will come to me and I'll feel more great about that rather than let somebody else come in and just pay me crumbs on the dollar. So just, if you feel comfortable about it, don't jump on something just because it sounds good as well either.
Yeah. Hey, you said a word right there. And I think that's why a lot of people choose to self-publish, though it takes a little bit to get going and to pick up that momentum. But yeah, as soon as you like you said, as soon as your book hits, that's all coming to you. Yeah. Definitely. Okay. Well then, earlier you were saying, you've been through a lot and stuff. So how have you been able to manage just life with work and writing and all the different things that you got going on? How have you been able to find a balance with all that?
I have to, for me, going through what I went through, being as young as I did, being as I was, I made decisions, that cost people their livelihood when we were in Iraq. I made some decisions that cost people their limbs, that cost people their lives. I don't want to go too deep about it, but that stuff plays, it can play on your mind for a long time. And so for me, I have to always have some type of project. And so if I don't have a project, I'll go crazy. And so I can always write because back in the day growing up, I used to want to be a rapper and all that stuff. And, I had signed a deal when I was young and all that stuff or what have you. It just didn't go through. So I could always write. I just never had the passion and the fortitude to just want to sit down and want to do it. And then when I got to a point where I said, hey, listen, I'm working for all these other people. I went and done everything that, other people want me to do or that they think is the right way. Now I need to start doing something for myself. And then that really gave me the motivation to be able to do that. And two, I love to see, I have people always say to me when they would see me out, they say, you don't look like somebody that's got a master's degree. I would always ask, what the hell does somebody that looks like a master's degree? What do they look like? And they can never answer the question, right? And so So when I tell people when I start telling people hey man, I'm a self-published author, I got a clothing line and everything, and they go, really? And then they start searching it. That right there, I find pride in that to be able to tell people that because the average person hasn't done it, and for me to be able to put in that work and see the fruits of my labor, I just find pride in that. So that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me going.
See, you already answered my next question. What are your top 3 things that keep you going? Give us 2 more.
Well, and then also too, being a voice in Mississippi, I do a lot of stuff in Mississippi as well too. On the political level, on the grassroots level as well too. Just being able for a young kid to be able to see somebody like myself doing something like that right there and giving them pride to be able to do something, I find pride in that as well too. And then just being able to accomplish a task, just being able to set out a task, and then just being able to accomplish it. Because before I went to the military, I didn't know how to accomplish a task, right? But the military, it'll break you down and it'll build you back up. It has its good parts and it has its bad parts, a lot of bad parts, because the war isn't fun, So, but one of the things it will do is it'll break you down and it'll make you understand how to accomplish the task, and it'll make you check yourself, right? It'll make you check yourself. And one thing about the military is that you're going to check yourself. And if you don't check yourself, you're going to be back out on the streets where you started at before. That's not a good thing. Just being able to get those little projects get them done to make myself feel better, what have you. So.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well, last thing, because I don't want to keep you too long, is there anything else that you want to offer or share to the community?
I just want to share, like I said, if you're somebody and you're looking to get started and you don't know what to do, just start. And I find pride in looking at individuals like yourself who starting their own companies or what have you. That's what I find pride in, especially for for African Americans to be able to do all that. So it's not gonna come easy. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is not gonna come easy. When I came up with my clothing line in the state of Mississippi, I had a girl laugh at me in my face. Okay, I mean, completely just laughed at me. I wouldn't buy that. Get out of my face. Whatever.
Oh,
but now I've been grinding. Or I got people saying all I do is sip, or oh, I'm from the sip. So, or hey, you're the guy that wrote that book, Surviving the War and College Roommates. Oh man, that book is funny. So it's not going to be easy. Do not think that it's going to be easy. You're going to write your book and then all of a sudden it's just going to blow, or you're going to do whatever it is it's going to blow. That only happens to 1 in a million people. Build your brand and get your base, and then work, and then even when you get tired, work even more hard.
Okay, yeah. Put in that work.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah.
Awesome. So where can we get a hold of your book, and where can we go and get a hold of your clothing line, man? That's real cool.
So my book, you can get a copy of my book from Amazon. You can get it from Kindle, or you can get it from Barnes & Noble's books online. If you want to get a signed copy, you can just email me at my email, which is robinsonlawrence25@gmail.com. And I'll send you an invoice, and you can get a signed copy there. My clothing line, you can go to my website, which is www.statecapsheadwear.com. That's www.statecapsheadwear.com. You can put in an order there. I'm updating the website right now for the clothing line to get all my winter gear and everything ready. So just trying to make that major push like that right there. So like I said, man, I'm just trying to bring everything to the forefront.
Yeah, get it. Okay,
yeah.
That's what's up. Hey, I'm so excited for you. Yeah. That's real cool. All right. Well, listen, it was a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope you have a good night. And I'll definitely be in touch with you.